how often in the battles of our life do we look at the signs of God? That's what Jehoshaphat did. This huge and powerful army coming against him. He took his eyes off of the problem around him, off of that army coming against him, and he put his eyes on God. Read the rest of the story. It's fascinating. They get into battle. And there really isn't a battle. He gathers all the men together. What do? They do the same thing. They start offering a thankfulness and praise to God. And what's God end up doing? He says, guess what? This battle isn't yours, it's mine. Sit back and watch what I'm going to do. Just watch what's going to happen. Now, I don't know what the course of the battle was and how it happened, but all of a sudden, these three armies, all of a sudden, there's ambushes against them. And I have no idea who's fighting against them. But the next thing you know, they're routed. They're totally defeated. And this army's just standing there watching it happen. It took them 3 days to collect the spoil from that battle. That was a battle just struggling to carry everything out. That was their battle. And I love what they did afterwards. They named that place the Valley of Barakah. The Valley of Praise. It became the Valley of Praise. That's how they faced that battle. Not looking at the size of the enemy, but looking at the size of God. Knowing what God could do. Like a little boy who was one morning playing in his sandbox outside and is playing out there and came across this rock. He started to dig around this rock, and this rock just seemed like it kept getting bigger and bigger, and he kept digging and digging. Got a little plastic shovel and bucket and all that. Digging around this rock, digging around this rock. This was a huge rock. And this was a little boy, but he wanted that rock out of his sandbox. So he finally got that rock dug around that rock to the point where he could move it a little bit, and so he kind of sat down his tail in, and he got his feet up against that rock, and he just started to push and push and push with his feet. And slowly that big old rock began to go across that sandbox little by little until it got to the edge. But then he had another problem. Had that wooden border around it. That wooden border. So he gets over there behind that rock and he just lifts and he tugs as hard as he can, just doing everything he can to get that big rock out of there. He'd bring it up along the edge of that sandbox a little bit and fall back down and get it back up a little bit and come back down. He just couldn't get it over the edge. And one time he lifted it up and it came down on his little hand. And just as he started to cry, the shadow of his father was cast over. His dad was inside the house watching what he was doing, saw what was happening. Looked at the little boy. He said, "Son, why didn't you use all the strength that you had available to move that rock?" He said, "Daddy, I did. I used every bit of strength that I had. I just couldn't do anymore. I used my legs, my arms, and everything. All that I had, I just couldn't do it." And his father said, "No, you didn't. You didn't use all the strength that you had. You didn't ask me." Rich's dad just leaned over, lifted the rock up, and pushed it out of the sandbox. You have rocks in your life that need moving. Well, I got the mover for you. And we face a lot of things in our lives. A lot of battles at times. In our families, in our jobs, all kinds of things in today's world. And the question is, what are we looking at? What do we focus on? The size of the battle or the size of our God? Jehoshaphat, Paul, Silas, the Psalms, people through the centuries have looked at the size of God and known this God to be more than sufficient for the battle. The valley of praise, the valley of thanksgiving. When we face those battles, when we cry out to God and we simply say, "God, I don't know what to do. I just don't know what to do. That's when God comes and shouts back at us. He says, I'll tell you what to do. You go out and you face that battle. You go out and you face tomorrow. You go out and you do what you can because you remember. I'm bigger than any battle that you're going to face. And I'm going to be out there to move those rocks. To work my hand in the midst of that battle. So that you too can see how big I really am. And it all comes from the valley of praise. We face battles. Let's take our eyes off of the largest of those battles and see how big our God really is. So many have done it, and we do it today. May we too understand the power of prayer and praise and what it does in the very hands of God as we offer it to him. Let us pray. Gracious God, we come here today and we lift up the battles that we face to you. This is a time now this morning that we have a chance in this place of worship, just like those people of Judah, coming together, men, women, children, offering their prayers to you, coming before you in the face of whatever battle they were facing, knowing that you are larger and bigger than anything going on around them. We ask that we might look to you, that we might look upon your face, that we might feel your touch, that we might see your hand moving. And this morning, in this time of worship, in this time of praise, in this time of prayer, we simply put ourselves in your hands. The battle is yours. The battle is yours. Enable us to walk in the victory of your love, of your presence, and of your Son, Jesus Christ. These things we